Hello, all you wonderful people, and welcome back for episode 4 of the Hostile Lands. We have a lot of different things that we got to get done in today's episode. I am very excited, spent a lot of time in a creative test world planning out different things that we need to add into this world, so let's go ahead and get started. First things first, I have realized as I've been trying to prepare for my villager trading hall that I do not have nearly enough space in this tiny little tower back there in the corner. I have completely run out of places to store even one more chest inside that little building. It's super cramped. I need a better place, and I need an actual house. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started crafting up and deciding what we're going to be doing for a beautiful first home here on this survival world. And I've started terraforming a little bit this area back here because I've decided that I would really like it if my home kind of overlooked this village that we've been staying at, since I already have so many things over here that I'm going to want to use long term. I figured this is the perfect spot for me to go ahead and start building my first home. It's been a little bit of a challenge. I am definitely not much of a terraformer, and I'm really not very good when it comes to the design elements of things. I spend more time working on redstone and automation than I do on building beautiful things, so this is really kind of out of my comfort zone, and I have quite a lot of area that I am going to need to work with. But what I'm kind of hoping is that I'm going to be covering up some of this river, and I thought it might be cool if at some point I set it up as sort of like a underground ravine down here that has maybe some different towers on both sides, some pillars, I guess, on both sides of the river that kind of just lead you down underneath here. And so I'm going to be working on that at some point. But for now, I really just need to get this area kind of looking a little bit better and a little more flattened out and connected so that I can start building my house up there, because I don't have any more room for chests, as I was saying before, and I desperately need to collect some more supplies for a lot of the different projects I'm going to be doing, and I don't have a single chest left to place items in, so that's kind of got to be bumped up in my priority list, because we're not going to get very far if I don't have anywhere to put any items, and so then I can't really collect anything, because I don't want to just build out of the items that are around here, out of just like the spruce and the dirt and cobble, the stuff that's readily accessible. I have some big plans for things that I want to do. I'm going to spend a lot of time working on trying to actually build something beautiful in this world and expand my building skills. So I got that outline all set up that you just saw, and we're going to go ahead and start trying to make some more progress on this. Something you'll get to know about me pretty quickly is that I get sidetracked a lot. I've done quite a bit of progress on flattening and terraforming that area out, but I can't really stick to one single thing for too long. I get pretty bored pretty quickly, so I have a lot more to do, so I am going to start collecting some resources and putting them in chests kind of all over the place. And there's a lot of things that need to be done for me to build up this trading center, so let me see what we can do here. have I done? I've slaughtered them all. Oh no. Well, now that I've got all the murder out of my system, let's go ahead and get back on task. So I've come over here to an area that is 100 blocks away from the villager breeder, which is required for the not having issues with the intermingling of workstations and beds. You need to go at least 100 blocks away so that you can separate the villagers you're breeding from the beds that are over there. And so this is where we're going to be putting my trading hall. I'm going to go underground here. Thought about doing a building, but realistically, I don't know how many I'm going to want. I plan on being able to make this area expandable at all times, and the best way for me to do that is to just go ahead and go underground. And so I need to dig this area out sufficient enough for all of my different villagers to be stationed down here so I can do trades with them. And I'm going to have to bring all the villagers over from the other area, so I'll have to make some sort of connection tunnel between the two. But first, I got to get my tools up and running because I don't have very good tools, and this is going to take me absolutely forever if I don't get a little bit better tools so that I can dig this out and not have to keep on worrying about going and making new tools. So down to the XP farm we go. Not the best setup. I definitely need to do something different about this. I have some future plans for that. But I did kind of upgrade it down here a little bit. I moved where I was farming them just a little bit further away. Instead of being on the left side, they're now on the right side. And that just puts them just far enough away that they'll continually spawn and build up instead of still being read by the spawner. But I have quite a bit of resources, quite a bit of stuff. I need to do some enchanting here, get some good tools like that, but I'm going to need the levels to do so. And I think I'm also going to go ahead and do a little bit of mining just so I can get some more diamonds so that I have plenty of stuff for tools, since I do not yet have a mending villager. And so I have a feeling I will probably be burning through a lot of good tools. One quick mining session later, and we have ourselves a bunch more resources. Didn't get that lucky on the diamond front, only got 12 diamond ore, but we are going to go ahead and fortune 3 those right now and see how many we can get out of it. Let's hope that we are lucky, because as you can see, I am in rubbish armor right now. I still got gold on, things are about to break, they've been breaking left and right. I need to get towards diamond. But right now, I need to build up my supply of diamond tools because I do not have mending, and that is a problem for me right now. So let's see what we get. 34 is not bad. I will take that. That will go a long ways towards getting us where we need to be as far as getting all the tools we need, as well as the armor eventually. So let's go ahead and get started. After a lot of digging, we are finally ready to start moving over our first villager. So let me just go ahead and replace this so that I can power the dispenser, so that I can eject the minecart and swoop him up. Hopefully it grabs him. He seems to be the one in the corner, not the baby, so that shouldn't be an issue. So let's fire him off and let's start moving him down. I just gotta go catch up to him. I did build this long tunnel. It extends all the way over to where the trading hall is going to be. So that just lets me have this more of like a continual thing in case I want to expand in the future, rather than building tracks above ground where they're visible and kind of ugly and then having to tear them down and put them back each time I want to use it. That's not really for me, so I will have this kind of set up here more indefinitely. So it brings him around here, puts him in the first slot. Bada boom, bada bing, one villager down. So I grabbed a couple of things so we can go ahead and get this guy started. And I don't know if I showed you this yet, but if you flick this lever, I can send them off into this block right here. And they will suffocate, and that will let me get rid of any of the nitwits or just the villagers that I don't want their trades anymore. And it won't hurt my villager score rating with them, so they won't raise their prices, which works out great. Also have this track back here that lets me go ahead and pick and choose where they're going to go in which one of these slots. And I can adjust those for when I want to pull them out of here. That way I can do some zombification processes and get them lowering in their trades. But for now, we want to do the main thing here. And that main thing is going to be trying to get us a mending villager. That would be immensely helpful. He needs his workstation and he needs his bed. For those of you who don't know, that is pretty much all you need to start this process, is its workstation and its bed. And once he has both of those, he will link up and he will take a profession, so long as he doesn't already have one. And then if you want to reset the trades, you can go ahead and you can break the workstation and you can place it back down, and that will reset so long as you have not locked his trades in. So do not do any trading with him until you find a villager that has exactly what you're looking for. Otherwise, it will be too bad so sad, and you'll have to kill him and start over, or just accept the trades he has. But this guy has mending, and that is what I am talking about. It normally takes me forever to get a mending book, so I am super stoked right now. That is a wonderful start to this process, and now we just got to go ahead and do this a couple dozen more times. So now we got our mending villager, and that is fantastic, but one of the most important things that we need to keep in mind at this point is that we do need to lock him into his trade. And when you're dealing with the librarians, what that means is that initially you're going to be needing some paper, and that means a lot of sugarcane. I have a little bit right now, but it takes forever to grow. It's one of the slowest moving crops that you can deal with. So what I'm going to do is walk you through real quickly a quick and dirty method of getting a tremendous amount of sugarcane fairly early game. This is not too difficult, so it should be something that's pretty straightforward for most all of you. What you're going to be needing for this is you need one dispenser, at least. You can use more, but one is all you really need for this method. We're going to free up some space behind it because we are going to need to put in some redstone wiring here. So what we want to do is just clear some of this back area out, just enough so that we can go ahead and have some space in between these things. And then we need to go ahead and start planning out where we're going to put our power source for it. For this, we don't want to have a power source that is constant. We're going to want to send a tremendous amount of pulses very quickly into this dispenser to get it to dispense rapidly. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a torch clock here, and you do that by just placing a torch on both sides of this block, and you're going to do the same thing on this side and get that set up. Then all you need to do to really complete this clock is to go ahead and get some redstone, and we're going to be putting some of that on top of these, a little bit behind, and that will already start going, as you can see. So now what we could do, and we could just be done right off the bat, is go ahead and just power the block directly behind the dispenser, and that should start rapid firing already, which is great. But we do also want to make sure that we're not listening to this all the time. So we want to have a method of being able to turn this off as well. And the only thing you need to do in order to turn off one of these clocks is to send power into it. And then you can toggle whatever your source of power is, the easiest one being a lever, and send power into it, and it will stop the line. I just need to get myself a lever. There we go. Perfect. And you can kind of mess around with this. It depends on how much space you have. I'm a little cramped in here. I didn't really think this through all the way. So I'm going to mess around with a couple of different methods of turning it off. That right there looks to have already worked, but I'm not sure that that's really how I want this to look down here. It's kind of a little bit ugly. And it's a quick and dirty method, so it's going to be ugly regardless, but I don't want any sugarcane getting caught like in this back area. So I think I'm going to try and find a different way to power this. But for all of you who are watching, that right there is all you would have needed to do, and you would be set to go. You just flick the lever on and off, and you will go ahead and start rapid fire dispensing. And then all you really need is to put some bone meal inside of the dispenser, and that will start growing your sugarcane. You want to make sure you have that hole above the sugarcane, like I'm showing off to the left there in the ceiling, so that it can go the full height. And that way you can go ahead and get all of the sugarcane to its max growth level naturally, which is going to be 3 blocks high. That's not how I want this. That turns that off, but I want to make sure that this is going to be a little bit more effective, because even though it's quick and dirty, it does need to be used quite a bit. So let's see what we can do here to get a good stable power source running into this. Let's see, not a lot of space in here, unfortunately. I really should have picked a better area for this, but this won't stay around forever, so I'm not too worried about it. But I do need to be sending power all the way back, and so maybe I'll just widen this up. Let's see here. Get my lever. Alright. That should be good to go. So that, hopefully it won't get caught on this little lip, but that does seem to be pretty sufficient for what I need. So now all you gotta do is fill the dispenser. While you have the sugarcane in it, the hitbox is too wide, so I'm gonna go ahead and update that. This is not gonna send through while I have the power in it, but I don't really want to listen to the clock either, so maybe let's do just a little bit more to this. There we go. I guess I'll just go with the very first setup that I had. No big deal. I'll just widen this up a little bit so that it's a little bit easier for me to get in here. I don't want any of the sugarcane getting caught in any of the ledges, anything like that. So I'll just place a block here and one here, and at least it's symmetrical. So that'll work. Now we're gonna go ahead and run this for the very first time, and all you got to do is fill the dispenser, place your sugarcane right in front of it, which does have to have a sand or dirt block touching water, so make sure you have that, and otherwise you just sit here and punch away and collect all of the sugarcane that you could ever need. It's really efficient for this sort of early game setup. You can make it much better by having hoppers and chests funneling bone meal into it so you can store larger quantities when you start doing this. You can even put a piston above the dispenser and get that auto looped in so that every time that it grows, it automatically knocks it off with the piston and into another hopper, so you don't really even have to do anything. But for what we need, this is more than good enough. We just need to get some paper so we can lock these villagers' trades in. So this is where we're going to end this episode. We got quite a few things done. We started getting our plot formed out for our house and started the plans for that. And we finally have our first villagers over here, and we are locking their trades in. So I'm going to sit here, collect a bunch of sugarcane so that I'm prepped for the next guys coming through, and then I should be all set to get all of their trades locked in. Thank you all so much for stopping by. Absolutely love every single one of you. It has been a fantastic journey so far, and I cannot wait to see all of you guys in the next episode. So goodbye for now.